and you cannot understand why an idiot like me would ever buy one. Oh, squeaky clutch pedal. It's an absolute laugh doing a 3-point turn, I've got to be honest. Hello folks, welcome back to another video. We're asking serious questions. In the last 6, 7, 8 years, maybe a little bit longer, Land Rover Defenders have become particularly expensive. If you were looking at buying maybe something like this, a late 90s Defender 110 with a 300 TDI or even an early TD5, 10, 15 years ago, you would have been paying comfortably under 10 grand for an old one. Now, it's pretty difficult to find one for under that amount of money. 10 grand will find you something, even a little bit less will find you something, but if you want to buy something with some certainty, you're going to need at least north of £10,000. And the question is, are they really worth it? Are Land Rover Defenders worth the money? So, let's talk about it. I'm opening a can of worms here because this is, of course, like any topic in the Land Rover world, extremely subjective. But we can at least talk about some of the details. Let's set the scene. You're in the market for a 1997 Land Rover Defender 300 TDI. And, you know, because you've got a bit of nous and you want to be just like me, you want a 110. And you might even go for a commercial because you want to be able to sleep in the back of it. And if you're not going for a commercial, you want 5 seats, well, you're going to need even more money. You've got a budget in mind, and you're quickly realising you can buy many other types of vehicle which are far better equipped. They're a lot quieter, a lot more refined, and they're half the price, almost. You know, Defenders are typically known for being quite noisy, as you can hear. There's a fair few rattles in here. My clutch pedal squeaks. Currently, I do need to sort that. That is resolvable. They're not particularly quick. I'm doing 50 mile an hour currently in 5th gear, and if I get up to 60, I'll start to know about it. But I can cruise at 55, 60 mile an hour fairly comfortably with a pair of ear Defenders. No, I'm joking, it's not that bad, but they are quite noisy. And typically, word on the street, there's always going to be something wrong with it or something needing attention, and that's another talking point. But certainly in my case, while there's the odd niggle to sort out, mine has been very good to me, and it's probably been one of the more reliable, if not the most reliable vehicle I've ever owned in terms of serious mechanical issues. It's been very, very good, but that's a story for another video. So what is it that you're actually getting for your money? The heaters are a bit questionable, there's no air conditioning. Interior quality is nothing spectacular, I'm not slating it. That's exactly what I like about it. It's utilitarian, things are basic. You don't have to baby the interior. It's a working interior, and I like that. Do they have cup holders? Well, this one does, because we've got a Britpart aftermarket alternative which does have 2 cup holders. Why are they worth so much? Or why are the prices as they are? Well, there's nothing else like them, is there? I'm not talking about in terms of off-road capability, because there are vehicles out there, but the Land Rover is totally unique. They're not made anymore. They're a very lovable vehicle. Not sure I can think of another vehicle that has quite the following of a Land Rover Defender. As classic vehicles go, it's probably got the broadest following. Correct me if you can think of any others, but the Land Rover is kind of the iconic car. Modern cars are extremely competent, very capable, very reliable. They have all the comforts that you would need. A lot of them are a bit forgettable, aren't they? Cars that have real character are fewer and far between. More and more vehicles look the same. I even think it's a bit sad that the saloon and the estate are dying out. Everybody wants these compact, mini SUVs that are small inside, not particularly aerodynamic, in my opinion. I don't really understand the way the car market's gone, but that's, again, geez, there's so many videos. But old Defenders, full-time four-wheel drive, plenty of ground clearance, a low-range gearbox, a diff lock, central diff lock. The chassis are very, very strong, and you can use it. You can really use it. It's not brand new. You don't have to baby it. Part availability for old Land Rovers is excellent. You can go camping in it. You can do overland expeditions in it. I reckon there's enough gas for some burgers, but no dessert. Oh,
What?
I forgot the stove.
Are you kidding?
Of course I am. Of course I am. As the Scout motto says, be prepared. And I was a Scout, so. Or you can just enjoy it at the weekends. Off-road, on-road, whatever you see fit. Driving a Land Rover is an experience. If you're going to sit on a motorway all day to and from work, there are obviously better vehicles for the job. Let's talk about the Land Rover Discovery. Discovery 1, Discovery 2, they are generally a bit cheaper than Land Rover Defenders, but not by much. I must say the Discovery 2 and Discovery 1 in recent months, years, have started creeping up in price as well. As the Defender has become out of reach price-wise for a lot of people, understandably, well, maybe I could have a Discovery. And now everyone's doing that, the Discoveries are going up in price as well. The other way of looking at it is, are they really that expensive? If you want an off-road alternative, you could say go and find yourself a £4,000 or £5,000 Japanese off-roader, maybe one of the Mitsubishis or a Suzuki Jimny. And Toyota Land Cruisers are out of reach. They're in most cases far more money than a Land Rover Defender. You want like an equivalent 30-year-old Land Cruiser, you're looking at 20-25 grand in some cases for one that's in good shape. Equally, if you want a new vehicle, well, all new vehicles are crazy money now. So if you want something the equivalent of a Land Rover Defender, whether that be a Toyota or another Land Rover product, you're looking at money that far exceeds an old Defender. You get something that can be worked on, and you've got parts and engines that were built to last. The 300 TDI is fully mechanical. You can repair most things on it with basic tools, and of course spare parts when you need them. A modern vehicle is going to cost you potentially twice that of an old Defender, if not 3 times. They're becoming harder and harder to work on yourself. There's quite a lot of upside to driving an old Land Rover. You bypass many of the modern difficulties. I don't think buying a new vehicle for reliability is the cheap way of doing it. As long as you're willing to do the work yourself and capable of doing some work yourself. Driving an older vehicle, keeping an older vehicle on the road is almost always cheaper than buying a new one. If you go and spend 12 to 15 grand on a decent second-hand Land Rover and you look after it, well, you probably get your money back. Prices have settled a bit, maybe tumbled slightly, still nothing crazy, but it doesn't feel at the moment that Land Rover prices are rocketing up like they were 4 or 5 years ago. They've kind of settled and maybe even tumbled a little bit. So if you know what you're looking for and you choose wisely, a Land Rover can be a decent investment. I don't really believe, unless you're going to turn one around, you're going to buy one that needs some love, put some serious love into it and turn it into a really nice vehicle. Other than that, they're not really necessarily a great investment. But if you want to buy a vehicle that isn't going to depreciate ridiculously, then they're not the worst option really. There's one there. So if you choose wisely and you find a good one, might not be the worst decision. They're a vehicle that is more than just a commuter or an A to B vehicle, because if you like getting out and about, you like camping, you like a bit of off-roading, it's a lifestyle thing. I would say if you don't already like Land Rovers before buying one, you might not think it's a great purchase. But if you're somebody who's admired Land Rovers, then you're probably not going to be disappointed as long as you're aware of what they're really like to live with. Would I buy mine again? Yes, I would. I wouldn't buy one if you are right at the tip of your budget. With all vehicles, you want to factor in some maintenance budget. I've been lucky, this has cost me next to no money in repairs, really, and the things that it has cost me are small, and I've sorted them myself. There are, of course, cheaper alternatives, but then they're becoming harder to find. Even small off-roaders like the Suzuki Jimny are no longer dirt cheap. And finding a good vehicle that hasn't been tampered with and is fairly original, or hasn't already been heavily modified and had a hard time off-road, is even harder to find. Time for tea. I think it's the simplicity of them that hikes the price. People like something that's mechanical. They like something that they can work on. Sometimes that's worth the extra spend for them. See, the basic nature of them, I think, encourages people, or gives people the willingness to pay the money for them. Yes, they're expensive, and certainly the ones that have been blinged up are big money. That's when I start to think, So ultimately, what I'm saying is, I can't answer that question. For you, it might be the worst deal in the world. A Land Rover might be hideously overpriced, and you cannot understand why an idiot like me would ever buy one. Equally, you might be shouting at the screen, trying to tell me that they're an absolute bargain. I would say the truth is somewhere in the middle. For what you're actually paying, they attract quite a lot of attention, so people seem to like them. Maybe they are worth the money. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please let me know in the comments, do you think they're overpriced? Have I been an idiot? Are there other idiots out there buying them? Or are they a bargain? Well, let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.